big puffy jackets.
Big Puff is coming out. All right, thanks, Mike. Well, this week Apple announced the much anticipated iPad mini. So what was all the hype about? Is it worth it? Is it too expensive? These are all the questions we're asking Dan Thompson, our favorite tech expert this morning.
So Dan, your overall your first impression of this product.
Well, the iPad mini is certainly a neat device. Apple certainly felt like that there was a need for it in the community. The 7-inch tablets are a hot item these days. I thought it was well executed. I did feel they missed the mark though on the price.
I had expressed my surprise at how pricey it is.
Yeah. So it comes in at $329.
What should it be?
Well, my argument would be it needs to be around $200. If you look at the 7-inch tablet market, the reason why that took off, it's not because it's 7 inches, it's because they were $200 or less. And what I really felt like Apple was responding to was, hey, we need to have a 7-inch tablet because these things are selling like gangbusters, and what they forgot to look at is why are they selling like gangbusters. But now, all that said though, it is still a nice device. If you like your iPad 2, you just want something smaller, it's going to fit right in, the same performance specs as the iPad 2, except it's smaller and has a little bit lower resolution. You're not happy about this.
Why does that face?
Well, I had been waiting, I'm sure a lot of people the same deal, for them to do this.
And a lot of people thought it was going to be that previous announcement, right?
Yeah, they absolutely did.
So finally we bit the bullet and bought the iPad, and now it basically does all the same things that the iPad does, just smaller.
That's right. And if you had bought an iPad 3, people have been really ticked about the whole thing because now, hey, I just bought the newest generation, and then now there's a newer iPad.
That's what I bought.
Oh, you got the iPad 3?
Yes.
Oh, so sorry.
I'm so fired up. Thank you, Dan.
Sorry about that.
We're just throwing salt on the wound here.
Yeah.
Okay, so literally this thing does the exact same, has the exact same functions. Okay, so can't we understand why it's a little more expensive than a Kindle? Because those don't do the same things that the iPad does.
Well, maybe not. The argument being is the operating system the same? Yes, it's the same. Does it have the same compute power? Yes, it does have the same compute power. However, if you do a side-by-side comparison of an Android 7-inch tablet, like a new relevant one, to the mini iPad, they're basically the same, or the iPad comes out lower. If you watch the event, which by the way, this is the first time Apple has ever done a side-by-side comparison at a launch event for a competitor, there was a whole lot of marketing fluff involved in that, and they basically maximized on everything that they could say that was better. They mentioned it, and then they forgot to mention anything that the competitor had on them. Of course, they're not going to do that. Anyway, this is their event.
Okay, so what's going to happen with this whole thing? You think it's going to sell well?
Well, I mean, with Apple, it seems like anything they do, it sells well.
There's a built-in market, don't you think?
There is absolutely a built-in market. There's a lot of Apple geeks out there that just love anything that Apple puts out. They have been kind of pitching this towards the education community. A smaller device means it fits in backpacks better, it fits smaller hands better. So it would seem like they're trying to angle into that, hey, textbooks are going away, you're going to need a device to do your book thing on. So that seems to be where they're going. So we will see. I would be silly to sit here and say they're not going to sell any of these things, because obviously these things are probably going to sell like hotcakes as well. I just happen to have the opinion that they kind of missed the mark on why the 7-inch tablet is so popular.
So tell us real quickly, we've got only 15 seconds left, what should people buy if they're looking for a tablet? Okay,
well, so the kind of overall conversation I think that Apple is trying to have here is now you have a choice. Do you want a big one or do you want a small one? And really it comes down to just personal preference. When you walk in, which one do you like using better in your hands? Which one do you think fits your style a little bit better? It's not really a budget conversation because there's only like $60 difference between the two. So it's like, do you want a big one or do you want a small one? It's kind of like when you go to McDonald's. Do you want big fries or not?
Yeah, except it's a difference of $400.
That's right.
I'm going to go and demand my money back.
Yeah, you should.
Good luck with that. All right, Dan, thank you so much
for
being here. And still ahead this morning, our heavy hitters will be here.
Yes, that and much more ahead on Mornings with Fox 23.